What's good, everybody? You are now listening to the Basin Is Life Podcast.
Today we have a special guest. We have two special guests, and we have the wonderful co-host, Amanda, that we're going to be doing the Rooted Then, Rooted Now. Everybody's so excited to be here. Give it up for everybody. Woo! Okay, so I'm going to let Amanda, she's the co-host, I'm going to let her introduce herself and let you guys know her.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Jinks. I am a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a member of the Ute Indian tribe. I'm of the Uintah band, and I live in Ouray. I grew up in Randelette. I live in Ouray now.
Randelette's in the building. Thank you, Amanda. This is really great. Ouray, like Randelette, that's pretty far. You traveled more than 30 minutes.
It's about 30 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So I got another lovely guest here today. I'm going to let her introduce herself. Go ahead, girl.
Hello, my name is LeeAnn and I am also a member of the Uintah Ouray tribe. I am of the Uintah band, and I reside in Fort Deschamps. I have two awesome boys, and yeah,
What?
that's me.
Yay, LeeAnn. Give her a round of applause. Woo. Thank you, LeeAnn. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much. And then I'm going to let another wonderful guest introduce herself. Go ahead, girl.
Hello, everybody. I'm Carol Arochis Holgate. I grew up in White Rocks. Since then, I've moved to Altamont, so I reside in Altamont now.
Wow. We got White Rocks in the building. Altamont's in the building. How long have you lived in Altamont?
Let's see, about since 2016.
Wow. So it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Wow. Dang. I've always dreamed of living there. You guys, it's really green over there.
Yeah, our back door is the view of Rock Creek.
Really?
Yeah, the face side of Rock Creek, so it's really pretty.
That is badass. That's cool. I think we all got pretty good views, right?
Yeah,
Here in the basin, we got really great views. And it's just those things that you capture and you're kind of blessed with, and you just wake up, you see everything, right? It's just beautiful. I love it. Okay, thank you, girls. This is so amazing. I'm so happy you agreed to do this, and thank you guys so much for showing so much support. I am super excited to do this podcast. It's been a minute, and I just want to introduce myself also. I am from the Ute Indian tribe, and I'm also part of the Uintah band, and I grew up in White Rocks. I was born and raised, and now I just love it. And then just starting a business and then being able to come over and reach out to you girls, and you guys are all connected in some way, and just knowing that you guys are here is a great pleasure. Like, I'm so grateful. I'm so proud. I'm so happy to know these women. These women are, I think, a blessing. They're a blessing, and for all of us to kind of come together and talk about some things and some good topics and some good questions. And I'm excited to know what your answers are. Okay, guys, so I'm going to give the mic to Amanda. She's going to give out the questions, and we'll see what these latest answers are.
Okay. Thank you, Natlie. LeeAnn, can you tell us a little about where you come from and the people that helped shape you?
I come from Randelette.
Yeah.
But
Randelette.
that's where my family we came from, and then we all branched out. So, but what shaped me was being raised and growing up in a cultural family,
A traditional family.
Yeah, I don't want to say traditional too much because it was just the way of life. It was, and just being a part of our culture was just something we did. It wasn't. I didn't grow up seeing it as tradition. It was just what we did.
It was like an everyday life thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so my father was Alvin, the late Alvin Finnecus. He was the one that really shaped me more, as well as my grandparents, the late Charlie Knight and Kate Kent. She was from Ignacio. But
Mhm.
those are where I grew up.
So you grew up in both places. You spent time down there and you spent time up here?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I spent time in Farm Creek.
Farm
So
Creek.
I was pretty rounded out with family, both my mom and my father's side.
Wow.
Were there certain seasons that you spent in one place or another?
In the summers, we would come up with my grandmother, and we stayed in Farm Creek with my aunt Catherine Rickon. And so we did a lot of like Sunnet stuff with the family up there. And then we also came up when my aunt had her children. My grandma came up and helped her. So I tagged along and was just a little tomboy running around out in the fields.
I think everybody had to be tomboy when you ran in White Rocks.
But that's pretty much who shaped me, my grandparents. And my grandpa did a lot of traditional, ceremonial things. So just being around him. One of my favorite times was also bear dance. I remember my grandma getting up cooking and my grandpa would get ready.
Mhm.
And it would just watching him. I didn't have anybody say, come on, let's get ready. It was me who wanted to get ready and be a part of it. So watching my grandpa, he was one of the bear dance chiefs. I would be over there in my dress and skirt.
Ready to dance.
I was ready to dance, but I was also a tomboy.
See, having your friends see you in a dress.
But that's why I say it was culturally everything, but I didn't see it that way. It was, it was just the way of life, watching my grandparents. And then my father did, he took care of the Sunnets for us there. And so just being around him and watching him and having 5 o'clock breakfast talks,
Mhm.
it was so cool. And it's something I miss.
Mhm.
But being raised that way, like I said, never was a chore. It's just that way our life.
Okay, so we have another question, and I'm going to ask you, Carol, what era did you grow up in? Was it the 80s? Was it the 90s? What kind of vibe was you in? What kind of vibe? I want to know the vibe.
I grew up in the 80s, the teenager in the 90s.
Mhm.
I think the 80s probably was the best.
Was it the most funnest?
It was.
It was.
Everything was cool back then.
Yeah.
Everything's not so cool right now.
Haven't you noticed the style has came back?
It
from
did.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Girls wearing belly shirts. Like that wasn't even cool in the 90s, or not. That wasn't even cool in the 2000s. Now it's cool now.
Right. And
Yeah.
the bell-bottom pants.
Doing the baggy pants, they came back, but they look really cute on girls now. They
Agreed.
look really, really cute. They have like their cute fashion trend. I think it's really adorable. And I see some girls, like younger girls, and they have that. I'm like, that looks really nice. They like the fashion kind of came back.
It did. It did.
I'm waiting for the hair to come back.
You're going to get the bat wing
feather-
going.
Spare pasta hair.
Well, mullets came back for a little bit. Yeah, they looked really good too. It's so crazy like how people can be trendsetters and then do it, and then they make it look good. They make it look so good.
They do.
Yeah. So tell us about the 80s. Explain like how was it? Like it was inexpensive, right?
It
Or
was
how would you
carefree.
say
I would
carefree?
say carefree.
Yeah.
Like, you could, when the street lights came on, that's what time it was to go home. Like you can walk to the playground and somebody would be there.
Mhm.
You'd play all day. It was just I feel like it was a carefree era to grow up in.
Yeah.
You just didn't have to worry. And I grew up in White Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
White Rocks was fun.
And I think everybody lived by that rule, like if the street lights come on, it's time to go home, right?
Yes.
And then you ate, and then just things were just a little simple. It didn't matter what you eat as long as you ate. And you got to play with your friends, you got to go out, you got to do everything, explore the reservation, right?
Yes. Yeah. And they had a lot of activities for the kids back then. Like we had summer school up at the old youth camp, and that was super fun.
Yeah. And I noticed that you guys were like really athletic back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all tomboys, I think. I think you said that earlier.
Everybody was
tomboys.
I think everybody was in some kind of a sports. Like I look back at some of my mom's pictures, and everybody looks so fit. And I'm like, and you guys, I only know them looking like this now. You know what I mean? Because like, yeah, she's my mom and stuff. I only know like even like my uncles or like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everybody was so freaking fit. And I'm like, no wonder why you guys had a lot of kids. You know what I mean? No, but that's really good. Like I always think about that too. Like the movies were really good. The music era.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I think being alive.
Yeah.
You guys embraced it so much. Living that carefree kind of vibe.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time. I would transport back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try it again.
I would. Relive it again.
Relive it again.
I would.
You would too?
Roller skates.
Yeah, roller skates.
Roller skate.
And they did bring back the roller skating rink here in Vernal.
They did?
Yeah. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it.
I don't.
It's by the not the bowling alley. It's by the laundromat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, do you guys ever think you guys could skate?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. You'll be showing them up.
Thank you, Carol. That 80s sounded fun. 90s were a vibe as well.
It really does. It really does.
We'll talk about that another time, I guess. So I'm going to ask the next question. What are some of your favorite memories growing up in your community?
Being a bad kid. Just kidding. No.
Growing up, I grew up in a lot of my childhood in Fort Duchesne. And a lot of our memories was, like you said, coming in when the lights come out, when it gets dark, and just letting your parents know that, hey, I'm going out to go play with my friends, and we're going to be at the Blue Store, or we're going to be at the bandstand, and be there all day. And then the kids we'd gather around and play, and it was like, it was just really carefree.
It really was a memory.
Because your parents didn't really worry about you. It was a whole different time from what we have now. It's like, oh my gosh, where are you going? Who you going to be with? And I'm like, I never had
their location.
Yeah. We didn't have phones. We just went on the wall. Hello. But, just to go and play, or here's $10, go to Macco's, and we'd all pitch in and our money.
Wait, what's Macco's?
It was it's a house there right across where the community building is now.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little, not a store, but like a little restaurant.
It was.
Food joint. Yeah.
It was really good.
What? I didn't know that.
And that was not but a few hundred yards from where I was. So it was across. The only thing we had to worry about was traffic, but we didn't have the traffic we do now.
Yeah, it's so busy, right? So busy. So Macco's, it's not like it's like a restaurant?
It was a little
Eatery.
Eatery where you go and get like lunch or cheeseburger or something, like fries and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So I got a question. So did the food taste a lot different than what it tastes like now?
I think
Like
so.
the way people cooked it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
The way it tastes totally different. It doesn't taste the same. Doesn't taste like anything you ever tasted like you did back in the day.
I don't think so.
I don't really have anything to compare it to. Like growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. We had a lot of kids. We didn't have a lot of money, but so we didn't eat out a whole lot. Like my mom cooked dinner every night, so I don't really have anything to compare that to.
Oh, okay.
But Probably, I would think so.
Hey, those are like super memories. I think everybody's like getting a little hungry now that we're talking about food. Okay. What about you, Carol?
The recreation had a lot of activities for kids. There was always something going in the summer, in the winter. It was junior jazz. In the winter, in the summer, it was t-ball or softball. There was just always something going on.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of activities to take the kids to different things like the movies a lot.
For sure.
There's just so much going on.
You guys were always busy then.
Yeah.
Always doing something.
Yep.
If you weren't at home doing your chores, then you'd have to do your chores before you went out and did your activity, right?
Right.
Yeah. Is that how it is for everybody?
Oh, it was.
I saw it was for me too. Like, I always had to make sure like the dishes were done. Like, I did my chores, like my part, and then I can go play. But then I always had to be home at a certain time. Was it like that? for you
Yeah.
guys? Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, I grew up in Randelette, but more or less the Four Corners area.
Mhm.
So I wasn't right in the community. But my grandma lived maybe a quarter mile up the road, and she took care of my cousins.
Mhm.
And so we'd always be up there playing. And so when it started getting dark, we knew we had to hurry home because we had
Yeah.
a little bit of a walk. And
Yeah.
you don't want me walking
In the dark,
but it
something
would
falling.
bother you. Yeah.
Someone calling you. Ew.
It happened.
It does. Like, you hear that, and you hear stories like your parents scare you so much that you're like, okay, like, don't peek out the window type of a deal, or like, don't run around, or like, get
Yeah.
home before it gets dark, because you just never know.
Yeah, and if it stayed, if it got too dark, my grandma or my grandpa would give us a ride home.
Yeah. Explainable. Understandable. Okay.
Next question: what challenges have you overcome that helped shape who you are today?
That's a tough one, right, guys? Girls, not guys. Guys. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, the challenges, like everyday life, like I think we all like run into those challenges no matter what it is. And I think like the challenges of what we do here in the basin, what we do on and off the reservation. Also, like, we have LeeAnn over here. She's out promoting community cultural awarenesses. Right, LeeAnn?
Correct.
And I want to let her, take over and let her do or say some of the things that she's started and what she's been doing and what benefits that she thinks that the tribe should know. It's more about like knowledge gain, especially the younger generation wants to know some of this stuff, right?
Yes. And you talk about or ask about challenges.
Mhm.
I think that's one of the big things that we have on our reservation now is that our youth aren't as involved.
Yeah, for
Whether
sure.
it's they didn't grow up around it, don't understand it, don't have people around them to share that. And I know a lot of people say, well, it's up to the families to teach it. But in our generation now, and especially because we have so many young people that may not have the interest. Again, like I said, I grew up around it, so it was just an everyday life.
Yeah.
And so I want to share some of them experiences with our youth and getting them involved, because I believe our generation is so different than we didn't have the video games. We didn't have,
Phone.
phones, and we were outdoors.
Yes.
We were doing things.
I think you've been lucky enough to have a Game Boy, right?
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
64.
Yeah, we had the one you plug into the TV and
Start
it's like-
blowing like. I used to have one of those. Those were really fun.
And so it was like, we didn't have cartoons all day, every day. So we were out doing things. And again, my father and my grandparents were always doing something every weekend. It's time to go put teepees up. It's time to go attend, Native American church. Cooking was a big thing, helping, feeding the people. And that was just life.
Yeah.
That was busy, and your weekend's gone, and then you're back to school. But to share my experiences and bring them here, it's not I'm forcing you, and this is how we are,
Yeah.
because a lot of our members have married outside the tribe in different tribes.
Mhm.
And so I want to bring some of those things. And that's why I say culture awareness.
Yeah.
It's-
making them aware of
Different other cultures, right? Different other ones, and then bringing them in, showing them like a little, like a learning experience of what they do, what this means. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, I'm going to teach you this. You should learn this. But no, it's just more of like, this is what they do in this area. Your family is part of down there. Like she said, a lot of people marry out and they go to different other reservations or helping other people, Native Americans, understand different Native American heritages, or like their ways, their traditions, stuff like that, what they enjoy doing on their reservation. Because I think now, like in the 20th century, like we have that opportunity to contact people. We have people to go and reach out to people and all these resources, and then getting together and sharing our experiences, because before we weren't able to do that. You have to travel down to their reservation just to go attend their things or visit their stuff. Or if you only knew someone in that family, then they would be able to tell you what they do. So I think that's really cool. And like now that you're experiencing that and bringing some of that, like LeeAnn had this one. What was it called again?
It was a worship dance.
Yeah.
They're Ute Mountains, but they're in the southern part of Utah.
Mm-hmm. And it was really good. It was a really good attending. It was really informational. It's something similar, and I don't know if I should talk about it, but it's just something you'd have to go and get the experience. It's not like someone's like doctoring you or anything like that. It's just something that you see, observe, and it's kind of like just something that you learn.
Yeah.
And you give whatever you want from it. It's just informational. And that's what LeeAnn's out here doing. She does all this by herself, right?
Yes, I've been doing it, and we've been going through a lot as a community.
Yeah.
White Rocks, Ranlet, or and we have such a big reservation. And we got hit hard this past year with a lot of deaths.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of years. Oh,
Not just
been
our
going.
tribe, but it's tribes around us. And so in bringing them, I want them to come and because they could use it. You want to heal, you want to move on and help, not get into any doctoring or anything like that, but to understand, they'll come up and they'll dance. And then we have bird singers that are from Arizona. We have quite a few that are married into the tribe.
Mhm.
So I've spoken with a couple of people I know, and we're going to get them to perform as well and explain
See, I never
their
heard of that.
tradition.
I never
It's
heard-
really neat.
I love the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, their singing is so pretty.
But yeah, we've got that planned, and then for the summer we're probably just going to rest because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And then
So
bring
much
it
to do.
back, bring something back in August. We were thinking of doing maybe a small concert end of the summer,
Oh.
and bringing some speakers in to do a
Cool.
little speaking in the middle.
That'd be so
Get
nice.
a couple
Yeah.
of local bands from the basin, and play a few songs, and it's not just geared to the native
Yeah.
culture, but we have these other bands that play around here in the basin that are local, so we like to get them
And it's always nice, right?
coming here.
People have really good voices here.
They do.
They do.
I'm not one of them, but
Neither am I.
Shower. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Awesome. Okay. So the community forming that, and LeeAnn having that passion, having that drive and then the knowledge and bringing it to other people just to learn for free. There's no fee to participate. And the last one she hosted, it was super good. It was super informational. She even fed us dinner. She made us awesome food. I loved it so much. Thank you, LeeAnn. That was a real treat. That was really cool. I like that. Thank you, and I appreciate that. And yeah, but like the challenges that you faced, and that could go from like starting a business. Like Carol started her business, and then being a business owner, like it's almost like the same thing as like what she's doing, but she's like doing her community awarenesses and doing the informational stuff. And it could be scary doing anything, starting a project, right?
Yeah.
And then taking that first step. And then you just got to jump in. You just got to do it, right, girls?
Yes.
Yeah. And then Carol, like, okay, so you started your business. What year did you start your business?
We started the end of 2018.
Yeah.
So I still work full time, and I do the business as well.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty challenging. You got to do a lot of
Business stuff.
A business.
Yeah.
Sacrifices. You got to
Yeah.
make a lot of sacrifices.
And priorities, right?
Yes. I think the biggest one that I was worried about was you kind of have to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
going all in on something, you're scared to death, but everything's worked out the way it's worked out.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing good, so I can't complain.
Yeah. Shout out to her company. What is the company name?
BNC Oilfield Services.
BNC Oilfield Services. Thank you so much. We're going to do another special on that one. I'm going to have Carol on. She's going to come on. We're going to talk about the business, what she does, what she loves about it. You'll get the full package of how she started, when she started, what she loves about it, and how is she interpreting all of that into a mom and being a business owner, being a wife, being all of those great things. And yeah, but just starting something, right? Having that idea. Amanda, like when she reached out to me, she was scared. She was scared to take that first step, right, Amanda? And she was like, she even told me, she goes, I was kind of scared. I didn't know if I should even reach out to you. Let's do a podcast. And then we come up with the name. We do this. I'll be the co-host. We'll go ahead and just interview these girls that are Native American, that are in our reservation, that grew up here and has done great things, like these two wonderful ladies. Amanda, like, tell me about your experience. How scared was you?
What I admire about all three of you at this point in time is just the confidence it takes to do something that's out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I still struggle with to this day, is just doing things that are out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I just think, Carol, your business, working with your husband full time, like that can be a challenge. And Natlie, you're starting your business, and I'm sorry, LeeAnn, going in and saying, hey, this is my knowledge and this is what I can teach you. This is what I can show you. Come here, because even in that, sometimes you get people are like, why is she doing that? Or who is she? Who are they, the experts? Do you do?
You get a lot of naysayers. Sometimes I think everybody's going to talk crap no matter what. Just do it. Like there's
what you do. Yeah.
No matter what you do, someone's going to have an opinion. And that's the thing. It's just an opinion. It's nothing going against anybody. It's just an opinion. It's just somebody that wants to throw darts, that's trying to hit the target. Don't let them hit the target.
Good advice.
Yes.
Advice.
Yes.
Even like reaching out to you. I don't know if you noticed, Natlie, but I friend requested you. And then like maybe a week later, almost 2 weeks later, I messaged you. I was having that internal struggle for that 2 weeks. Should I reach out to her? Should I? And finally one day I'm just like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to wing it. I don't care.
And I responded like in less than a minute. It's just like, oh crap. I was like, you can call me. You can really call me. Like, call me. And then we talked about it. And it was a good idea. And I thank you so much for that. Because it's like, I was just barely starting and I was trying to do it. And I was working my way on doing something similar to this. But I wanted to at least, because it is a community kind of a episode where we talk about certain things and just reaching out into our community. I just didn't want to like go about it all wrong, but there is no right or wrong way. Like with this is just a blessing.
It is.
Just a blessing.
It is.
Yeah. And how it just came together. And I do appreciate you guys being here. You guys are just one in a million. Thank you guys.
I think that was part of it, as well as like having the confidence to kind of text you and say, hey, I want to do this.
I know. She texts me. And then I was like, Carol, like it counts on my email. Carol goes, hey, I'm interested. I want to do it. And then I did not know it was my aunt. I did not know it was her at all. And then I was like, really, I replied back to her. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, are you like, I was asking her like formal questions like, are you a tribal member? Like, so like, because of her last name. And I'm like, are you a native from here? And then like later on it dawned on me, I had to research her, like, who's this lady? I get on Facebook and I'm like, shit. I was like, it's a freaking buddy. And then I was like, never mind. Yeah, I was like, never mind, I know who you are. Because I did not recognize her married name because that's what she was using. So I was like, Carol, it's Buddy. But no, she reached out to me. I was like, cool. I was like, okay, we keep in contact. And then let me reach out because we're looking for some more girls. But you're on it. And then when I reached out to LeeAnn, I said, would you be willing to do this? She's like, yeah. She's like, I really would. And I was like, all right, cool. So we got our thing. We're set. Let's record. Let's find a day. Let's record. These ladies have been super well and super patient. And thank you guys so much. I just can't explain that so much. Like, thank you guys. This is so amazing. Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to another question. And then we got, what would be your favorite gathering? There's powwows, there's bear dances, there's sun dances. And I think this is all done like the beginning of spring, right? Before the summer?
Bear dance is spring.
This bear dance, right? Bear dance,
Sundance summer.
Sundance, and then powwows,
Year round.
right?
Mhm.
Does it go bear dance, Sundance, and powwows
Oh, year round, yeah.
year round? On our reservation, does it go bear dance, then Sundance, and then the July powwow,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It goes like that. Okay. Yeah. So what's your favorite part? Or is it all of it? What do you enjoy the most? I think everything it gives and takes, right? Like either one.
I dissected into 3 different categories because
Yeah.
bear dance is more social,
Yeah.
powwows is social, and then sun dances are more spiritual.
Yeah, and I really love Sundances and then like going and being with family. Just everybody is just a team player there. Everybody helps each other cook. Everybody kind of helps make sure everybody's okay. And LeeAnn, like you have experiences. Everybody's family here had camped at Sundance and had those family gatherings, and it's amazing, right, guys?
It is.
It is.
Share some of your experiences. What's your favorite one during Sundance?
My favorite.
Or like a memory. There you go, like a memory.
My dad used to camp out a week before Sundance because he wanted to make sure the ground was taken care of, putting up. Or my late father, Alvin, was one of the chiefs.
Yeah.
And so, just watching him getting things done, and he just did it. We'd be camped up and cooking and having everybody, like you said, family getting together.
Eating dinner, breakfast, right?
Yeah, and having to be ready, guests come, and and again, it wasn't a chore. It was fun to do. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to being with family. Now
And catching up, right?
now we
Having
cook.
conversations. Yeah.
We have family that get together, and there's like my sister Jen and I do the main stuff, and then the rest of the family brings food, and all the little boys that were small growing up, they're the ones that are actually going over there singing, doing the,
Or they have kids, huh?
yeah. And so, but now we're still cooking, but it's bigger. And it's just fun to watch, and hearing the music at night at the campfire, and it's a whole different
coffee.
family vibe. Yeah, cowboy coffee.
Yeah, that's the best.
My sister comes up and we always tell her, "You're gonna make bread on the fire, all right?" So she'll get down and she'll make bread at the fire. So things like that, those memories. Like I had mentioned before, one time I grew up in Farm Creek. So my aunt, her husband's family, we all camped together. So I had 4 grandmas cooking, and we were pretty spoiled because we didn't have to cook. We had 4 grandmas that did everything, and that was so neat to wake up before the sun comes up and you smell coffee and you just know that smell. Yes. And it is so, to hear the music.
Yeah.
The music is so soothing, and it's what it means to sacrifice your food and water.
Yeah.
How you look at it differently once you've taken that step, and what people mean to you, and the songs and everything. It really changes person. Well, it changes me, I think differently.
Yeah.
And so even if I drop a bottle out, I'm sorry, I mean, even like in our everyday life, how precious water is.
It is.
And now with the cost of food, eat and going out is that's so expensive. I can't go eat out.
Groceries are so expensive. I can't go into the grocery store without spending like $200.
Right.
It's ridiculous. And that's just like for 3 days.
Yeah, I always pack water with me. I have like a gallon of like a Yeti gallon jug, and I'm like, I'm not paying for water. Fill it up before I go anywhere.
Yeah, we got one of those water reservoirs that you have in your house, like where you buy those 5-gallon things. Lowe's or something or Walmart. That's what we got, and it works out. It's beneficial. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it a lot because it saves on like. I'm always grabbing one of these or wasting it.
Yeah.
But I love these, but I have like water bottles too. They just fill it up and then just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you travel, you buy a water bottle every time you travel.
No, so when
you go over that open.
We had gotten smart. We had gotten like a car cooler, and then you fill it up with ice, and then we just buy like a 24-pack of water. And then we just put all our water bottles in there, like our drinks and stuff, instead of us constantly doing that. Because when you wake, I don't know if when you guys do travel, like, don't you guys feel dehydrated?
Yeah.
I feel super dehydrated, especially in the morning. And, like hotels, they don't even have like enough water in there. And you have to go down and buy it. It's like $5 or something like that. And it's just a lot better, like if you pack your water. Just a little tip.
Yeah, I always go into the fitness centers and fill my jugs up.
Yeah.
I have like the water coolers, and I'm like, I'm cheap. I'm going to go fill up.
No, that's great. Like, I think during the bear dances too, like I see you guys' passion in that. Like everybody dances, like have like a really good feeling, right? Like they're just dancing. They're just enjoying themselves.
Oh, yeah. One of my hobbies and things I like to do is make ribbon skirts and shawls. And at the time before I had knee surgery, I couldn't dance. I was barely walking, but to see all my skirts out there and my
Someone's
shawls.
wearing it.
And I'm like, oh my God, there's 30 skirts out there, and I was counting them through the years, and I'd go through my phone and I'm like, oh yeah, that to make sure, because I know what I make. And I just don't put them together. I have to see it. And, because I know it's going to somebody that's going to use it, but I can't some people can just put colors down, but I have to actually see it. And that's how and it is really just watching the kids. Now we have a lot more kids that are into it.
Yeah.
And we have a big old gap from our elders, our seniors, to our younger generation. And it's good to see them get involved. I know at one time I had mentioned I had a friend of mine wanted a shawl And I happen to have always carried my shells around. Somebody
In your
else.
back. In the back.
Or I
seat of your
forget
car.
one. I forgot my own shawl. Oh, you have a whole bag.
Those are sell.
Yeah. And so I got the shawl for, his daughter, and it fit. I had different sizes. And then I gave it to her and I talked to her and just expressed what was told to me as a little girl. And it came back, and, it's just like, dance, enjoy yourself. You go out there and, when you're happy, you dance for me, you make me feel good. And that's what you do for older people.
Yeah.
And so that I have that memory, and I was like, wow, that's kind of like come full circle. That somebody had told me that at a powwow when I was learning to dance, because an elder had come, and I was living in with my aunt and her family. We all danced, and some elder had told me, 'cause my aunt had two, my late sister Uintah, she took care of both of us, and
Yeah.
we got into powwow dancing with them, and an elder had told us that. She was, it made her feel good to see my aunt with two little girls and showing them how to dance. So without really thinking, when I had said it, later on that day, I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody had told me that years ago. And then I turned around and I, said it to someone else. But that's how we encourage our young ones, and they may not understand now, but that'll come back full circle. But that was one good parents' memory that, powwows are just the same. You just go out there and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
It's so different how things have changed, and how that regalia has changed, the clothing. One year, my son was a little boy, and I had him on my back in a cradleboard bear dancing. I didn't think of it. One of the elders had asked me, she said, come here, and she tied a scarf around my back, and she put my son on my back, and she said, now you go dance.
Oh,
And we don't have those elders. We don't have that teaching. But those are the things I would like to see more from our young kids. It's I don't want it to be lost.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's so true. And I don't know, just to have a memory in those eras, like just in those eras, or like if you are participating, you are creating memories no matter what. So just take anything for granted, take it all in, do what you can, enjoy yourself, and just be positive and be happy. And
Right.
just live in the moment.
And pictures, people don't say don't take pictures, don't take video. But you see black and white old pictures, every now and then you'll see things pop up. Had them people not taken those pictures, we would have never known what they look like. Years and years, hundreds of years, 100 years ago, you'll see pictures pop up every now and then.
yeah.
So I think, it's a good thing that we do take pictures, because it's your family. You're preserving that for your family too. You say, hey, this is your grandma, this is your grandpa, one time ago, and when we expire and we're no longer here, somebody will have something from how we dressed, and maybe they might not dress the way we do.
Or sometimes like the pictures that you take like with your family only like at these gatherings, but just like celebration gatherings, not ceremonial ones, but like someone might be gone next year.
I have
Yeah.
And it's so sad. You're like, I thought I took a picture of that, but I didn't because you know what I mean? But then you're like, oh crap, I did. And you're like scrolling through your pictures and everything. And you're like, yeah, I got it. And then you're just happy and you see that person like, we had a good time during that time. That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think bear dance is one of my favorites just to do pictures of. 'Cause I'll do it just for me personally and edit them and put them on my website. But It's bear dance. It's one of my favorite seasons is to take pictures because it's such a good feeling. Just even being by the crowd watching, taking those pictures. And one of my favorites is to watch the very last dance when you have the ladies waiting to get tapped in to do that long dance.
I need to go. I haven't been to one for a while.
It's really just the feeling being there. It's a good feeling being there at the bear dance, and even at the Sundance. You know, I have a lot of memories of being with my grandma, and one of my favorite memories from Sundance is when my grandma Winona, her last Sundance, and we were sitting at the table and we were cleaning the mint, and she was like telling me, you know, you don't pull the mint from the root because it's not going to grow back. So you make sure you cut it. And we were sitting there cleaning it. And I didn't know that was going to be her last Sundance. And so it's a good memory to have sitting there and power up.
And you remember that, like that's dawned in your head.
Yeah.
Like you remember that, just that memory alone. And you kind of carry that with you throughout your life.
Yeah. And it's just, it's a good feeling being at these celebrations and these ceremonies and watching. And then when I go back and I'm editing pictures, you know, I get that feeling all over again because it's like you remember.
You feel close.
Yeah.
You feel close to that person.
Yeah.
And just hearing other people like being there, anyone's story at any kind of gathering, like you hear a lot of other people's stories, and that's something that they carry and that they go out throughout their life and they remember of their loved ones that are like gone and passed on. And I feel that too. And like just hearing their stories and being able to share that around the fire, anything, I think that's the greatest time for me, because just hearing those stories, it's amazing. Like, because that's what they love to do. That's their thing. And like, that's why they do the things that they do in certain ways. Every family is different, right?
Yeah. But I love that your grandma told you that so you can pass that down to your kids as well. That's awesome.
It is.
Okay. Next question. What in your life are you most proud of?
The thing I'm most proud of is my heritage and my culture.
I almost thought you were going to say my hair. I almost thought that. I almost thought it. Your hair looks great, by the way. I honestly thought that. I'm like, she's really going to go into her hair.
I know this morning my hair was a mess last night.
Yeah.
So I gotta make sure it.
No, but it's your heritage. It's your heritage, right?
Yes.
Your heritage. I think your heritage, your family, I think they play a big role of shaping you also as your family, your heritage, growing up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you get your foundation from.
Yeah, that's super foundation, your do's and your don'ts type of deal. What about you, Carol?
I think for me, it's probably learning about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've read a lot of books and listened to a lot of audiobooks to kind of figure out like some of the things that I do or I think or it if I could suggest to anybody, it would be to read like books. Because
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Gaining the knowledge.
Yeah, you kind of learn about yourself and some of the things that you do. Like, oh,
Like
okay, that's why I
didn't
did that.
even know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then understanding yourself in
Yes.
different seasons
Yeah.
of what you're going through, because
Yeah.
there's somebody that can explain it a lot better than you can,
Yeah.
or feel like, oh, okay, that must be it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah. I've heard a lot lately that people have anxiety or are developing anxiety.
Yeah.
And I think our social medias and the phones in general,
Yeah,
the internet has a lot to do with that.
it does. It really does. Thinking of something that you could be, but you're not, but having the doubt, having that anxiety, whatever you may go through, just those stages that you're struggling in.
Yeah.
There's tons of resources out here. There's tons of people you can talk to, somebody that can relate, have conversations, somebody you can reach out to. Always talk about these things because having it bottled inside, like you're soon gonna explode or have an episode of anxiety. And I think that's where majority of it comes from is anxiety, depression, just things of you're not worth it kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Have that feeling.
Yeah. And like how you said, like, talk about it.
Yeah.
Other people, everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
And like we kind of learned today that like some of us have had issues in the past that
Of course.
we're all connected.
Yeah, we're all connected. Like it doesn't matter if it's medical or not, like someone has that same effect. Someone's affected by it.
Right.
Someone's going through it. Whether you've been diagnosed for something, you know what I mean? Like that's a struggle within itself.
Yeah.
You have to take medication for it. You could or you can't. Like it depends on you and how your body takes it. It depends on how you think about it. It's all up to you. And if you do what the doctor says, then perfect. If you don't, try another alternative.
Yeah.
Try something else, something that will work for you. And whatever does work for you, don't let no one tell you that it doesn't because it does.
Right.
Yeah. Don't feel ashamed that if it doesn't, or if someone thinks that that's not right.
Yeah.
It works for you. Take it, use it however you want. Don't be judged by it. Don't feel judged by it because it works for you. It helps you go throughout your day.
Yeah.
It gets you through the year, right? And I think a lot of people don't think that like love and people don't like showing a lot of love, affection, stuff like that. I think that is something that people neglect but take as a opportunity to mistreat or take someone for granted, stuff like that, or use it to someone else's advantage. It's just the things that you play out in your life that you can feel that you are loved. You're loved. You can love yourself. You can treat yourself good. What you say about yourself matters the most. When you talk bad about yourself, of course you're going to believe that. You know what I mean? But if you say good things about yourself, you're putting this stuff out in the universe. You say, I'm going to have a great day, and you freaking will.
Yeah.
You freaking will, no matter what. You because you're making those choices, those positive changes in your life. You're doing something that's unnormal to you, and you do these things. But if you taking it for someone that feeds that negativity, like, oh, I hate this person, I'm gonna spend all my time or my time that I could be doing loving myself, but I'm talking bad about this person, or I'm waking up, or I'm like scrolling through their Facebook and like I'm spending all that time like being negative about this, or putting all that negativity out there, and they can just have like the most negative day. That all of that stress, everything that negativity will weigh on you, and sometimes it does show.
Yeah. But
Don't you think?
Yeah. Our biggest thing I think for the young kids nowadays is confidence. Like
Confidence.
What LeeAnn is doing with her cultural awareness, I feel like that is helping our kids have confidence in our heritage.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids get left behind that, like we talked.
Yeah.
Some families don't participate in that, and maybe some of the kids do want to participate in it. It helps them grow. It's helping you grow. It's helping all of us grow.
Because they're interested in it, right? They
Yeah.
want to learn. And with having LeeAnn doing her community stuff awareness and cultural awarenesses, like the kids have that opportunity now.
Yeah.
Like in my age, my era, I probably couldn't have that opportunity. Like somebody, or like what we were talking about, like how someone had to teach you how to do it. It's not you wanting to do it. Someone has to teach you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of a thing. But now, like in this day and age, like we have that opportunity to teach whoever's willing to learn.
Yeah.
And I think that's super great.
Planting seeds.
Planting seeds. Yeah. Thank you.
And I like what you said about, one of the things you have to love yourself before you can, you take care of yourself before you can help others.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big thing, with watching my dad do what he did. I was for the people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he always made sure he was okay.
Mhm.
If he didn't, then I was there,
Yeah.
But I just to watch and learn was, we do what we do because we want our people
Yeah.
to grow and understand, because it's up to us now. We can't rely on our mothers, our grandparents, because we are the next generation of elders that are coming up.
Yeah.
And we want our kids, our grandkids to succeed and to have this knowledge and foundation.
For sure. For sure.
And that a lot of it is, they may not love themselves because they don't get the love at home, or people don't take, I can't think of the word, and you say, I'm proud of you, you did a good job. And some kids don't know how to react because they don't ever hear that.
Yeah.
We need to let our kids know that they do matter.
Mhm.
And you did say it takes a community.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah,
really
it
does.
And like what we talked about earlier is like you don't have to be a part of, back then too, it was like that too. Like you don't have to be a part of that family to be family.
Mm.
Yeah, there's somebody somewhere that's willing to teach you if you want to learn. I'm pretty sure if anybody built the confidence up to ask a certain somebody, I'm pretty sure they'd be able to teach you or show you anything you're wanting to learn. But it's just, you have to want to learn. You have to take it seriously. You have to want to do it out of the goodness out of your heart, and just being if someone's teaching you some, take it all in. Take it all and don't miss the opportunity.
Mhm.
Learn as much as you can.
But I think one of the things that I think is great about your podcast is you're reaching a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so that's something that kids could look up to and say, well, Natalie's doing this. I could do this.
Yeah, for
And-
sure. 100%.
Yep. And then the same with LeeAnn with her cultural awareness. Like kids are going to look up to her and be like, well, she's doing this. Like, I want to participate, and maybe they'll go on with that.
Mhm.
And then the same with Amanda. She included my son. He was in the Altamont school when he graduated, and she included my son when they did the tribal awards for graduation. And like he had the biggest smile and he felt really included. So I was like really grateful for that. So it makes kids feel good when they're included.
And then it makes a
Yeah.
difference in their lives. It makes a difference in their earlier chapters.
Yeah.
Like kids, I'm pretty sure all of us had those experiences too, and experiences from either it's from our family members or from somebody that we didn't know.
Yeah.
And that was during our chapter, and like that's something that we take along the journey.
Yeah.
Right. We take it along.
Yeah. So so little things make
Mhm.
big
Changes
yeah.
in your life.
Yeah.
Our young kids struggle with, and what you all are doing each in your own way is growing and I think LeeAnn touched on it, or maybe it was Carol saying,
Mhm.
well, Natalie's doing this, this is really cool. I can do this, or, I feel comfortable reaching out to LeeAnn because I have a question on Sundance that maybe I wasn't taught growing up, or I didn't know, or, marrying into a traditional family who maybe you don't know how to take care of your significant other who's dancing, and, finding that comfortability to say, hey, help me. I don't understand this, or why do I have to do this, or how, things like that. Just building these connections with one another to say, you have questions, come find me. I can help you, or I can show you this. Even with, reaching out to you, Natlie, and
Mhm.
and it's like, hey, I have this thought of doing a podcast of interviewing women, but I don't know how to do this. I don't know the technology. I don't understand. I mean, I guess I could. I mean, even, and just you having that pathway, and me reaching out, because we talked about this the last time. Like, Natlie, I remember you in 5th grade. I was.
I don't remember this.
and just just reaching out like several years, how many years later, and just saying like coming to you and saying, help me, because you really don't know who you're going to run into down the road. And just, I don't know, sometimes just keep treating people nice and being nice to one another.
Yeah,
and
little
treating
things
each other.
have big impacts.
Yeah, and I didn't know that with your son. I didn't know
Yeah.
that made a difference.
Yeah.
I just that year I just thought, let's and we have all these students who are graduating, and there are Native students, and let's,
Yeah.
regardless of what school they're at or if they have a tutor mentor, let's invite them all.
Yeah.
And I just, oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
so
it
happy.
does.
As LeeAnn, you talking about your dad, you're saying, your dad says it's for the people. And, we discussed this the last time when your dad, my brother, had passed away in March of 2004. And, we didn't have, my brother, he wanted to be put in a teepee like my Shoshone relatives do. And we didn't have the means for a teepee, or we didn't have, looking for someone who had a teepee who'd be willing to do that. I mean, up in Fort Washington, we would have been able to secure one. And I remember waking up and talking to my mom, and she was like, we were able to get a teepee. And I was like, oh, who's letting us borrow theirs? And her saying, your dad, she went down and talked with your dad, and he was able to provide that. So for him saying, this is for the people and looking out for the people, that's something he truly lived. And I thought that was amazing just to hear that. So thank you.
That's guess that's probably what I'm most proud of
Mhm.
is my dad.
Yeah.
I'm my dad's daughter.
Mhm.
And I get reminded that
Yeah.
a lot. And
Mhm.
I look like him. So I'm real fortunate I get to see him every now and then in the
Yeah.
mirror every morning.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, fix my hair differently. But those little teachings, and they go a long way, like you said, little things.
Yeah.
Got all emotional.
Oh, that's good.
It's okay. Dads are the best. So.
Yeah. And then, it's okay to cry too. It's okay to run through those emotions and having those playbacks and just going through it. Because I think when you bottle something in, it gets harder on you. It's all that buildup, that tension that you feel in your heart, that, you know what I mean? But you're crying in tears of joy and just remembering and hearing his name, hearing anybody's name. Like, I get emotional when people talk about my grandma, but I understand, like, but it's good memories, like, flood you all over again. And just, everybody here has lost somebody that we hold dear in our heart.
Mhm.
And to go and be able to live their life and be one of the very few people that are still here on earth walking is a miracle, because we're still here. There's people that already left and already went and moved on,
Yeah.
and we're still here. So I think like my thing is I'm here to do everything and all I can for this short period of time, because I know, like, when I go into heaven, like, it's gonna be great. It'll be really great. I'm trying to make down here count as much possible, and record as much episodes as I can
Yeah.
until I'm unable to do it anymore. You know what I mean? And then being able to say that we've done that. You took your step on your, you took that step on reaching out to me. Like, that just says something, that you're here and you have a purpose, and you're here trying to make the best of life, and you're doing the best you can. That's all we can do. There's no right or wrong way.
Yeah.
Right.
But I appreciate it. Appreciate you ladies coming on and talking about all this stuff, and like getting deep into your heart, LeeAnn's heart, and giving her some tears. But so that just tells you, like, she's human. She's a woman. She's human. She's felt that, and she's grateful. We all miss our loved ones. And I think that will be something that we'll never forget, is our loved ones.
Yeah. And I also think, it's just a sign, just showing how lucky you are, because you were able to love somebody so deeply.
Yeah.
Feel that
The
respect.
connection.
Yeah. So,
One of the things I like to tell people when I talk to them, because they don't really think about their life. And then, we having gone through a lot of losses these past years, I always and we talk about people and how they were. And so I would tell like my nieces and stuff, what would your story be? What do you want to have people say about you? Just it's who you are. That's your story.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna leave behind. So remember that when you do things, they'll tell your story
Yeah.
because you're living it. And after a while, you won't even think about it. You're just gonna go and you're gonna continue doing these things. What you're doing. You're Natlie. And she says. She's got a long ways to go, but
I don't feel like it doesn't feel like it, but it is.
but these years they go by so fast. Like I can't believe it's going to be it's over 20. It's my dad's thing on, but it doesn't feel like it because these teachings that we have every day is okay. Tackle them one day at a time, and all the emotions and everything we go through, it's reminders, but it's also our teachings that keeps us grounded.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't have those feelings and emotions, we would just be going, and I think that's a lot of what our people go through now, our younger kids. They just go through the motions without realizing that there's an attachment to everything they do, that we do.
For sure.
Something.
I like to think this. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this before, but it's almost like when you go to heaven. You go to heaven, he opens the door, stuff like that. You're at the gate, right? You're at the gate. You finally made it. You finally made it. And then God turns around and asks you, well, what did you do? What did you do while you were down there? And like, do you have enough time? Do you got enough time? Do you have some time? and like just having that conversation, like just talking about it. I think that's what you're building your story here. And I think that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it. You guys producing kids, you guys have kids, you guys leave a little bit of behind you. You know what I mean? When you pass on. But you're also just going to be a memory too. Like what we think about our loved ones, they're a memory now. And you're going to either be a great one or you're going to be a shitty one. So just vice versa.
Yeah.
So try to do the best you can. Just try to do the best you can. Like
That's all you can do. Is just do the best you can. I think I saw on TikTok once, and it was something about and it really resonated with me because it was like you can't take your money into heaven, you can't take your big house into heaven, you can't take what you can take in is your children. And you could tell God like, hey,
it's so true.
You gave me these souls, and this is what I did with them. And for me, it's always been about my kids. I want to have them be better and do better and go further than I ever did. And I always tell them like, you don't have to follow my footsteps, but as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror when you're older and you say, I help people and I've done this, and this, and I feel good about what I do. That's all that matters is, you don't have to do what I do, but as long as you feel good about who you are. And that one, for me, it's important that you're helping people some way, somehow. Like, that's always going to be good enough for me.
Yeah.
So that kind of ties in with what I said earlier about the perfect, like people saying that there is no perfect. Everybody is perfect in their own way. Everybody is perfect. Stop searching for perfect.
Yeah.
You're perfect the way you are. Your kids are going to be perfect the way they are. Everybody, you know what I mean? It applies to everybody.
Yeah. And everybody's going to have their opinions. There's always going to be the niggers. There's always going to be somebody. Don't let it phase you. And that's the real main goal is it only counts of how you think, and you could be your biggest critic. You're you versus you, right? And I think everybody can relate to that. You versus you, and sometimes you just can't listen to yourself too much. Stop overthinking. Stop procrastinating. Stop doing. I think if we these ladies here on this table, I think if we procrastinated enough, we would have nothing done. But we're here today. We're recording. We done it. We got out of the house. We got ready. We just did it, right? We're obligated to. You know what I mean? As women in general, and taking care of a household. Like, because when we go home tonight, you're going to be busy. You're going to be busy, and you're going to be busy. I'm going to be busy. But at least we can wake up tomorrow morning and say, I did that yesterday, right? And can you feel good about it?
Yep, confidently.
Confidently, I did it, yeah. And it'll feel great. And continue to do what you guys do in your journey. Continue to make people grow. Continue to help people not have with knowledge. Continue to do your business and what you do here in the basin, and what you provide for your family, and what you teach your children, stuff like that. You guys are one in a million. There's no other person other than you guys. There's only one of you.
Agree.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. And so I thank you guys so much. And thank you once again for being on the podcast. I truly appreciate it. It comes from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Amanda, for being a wonderful co-host. And thank you, Carol. Thank you, LeeAnn. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, see you guys later.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Until next time.